when I was in heaven, before I was born. I would sing, I would play in the clouds with the angels in their hearts. They gathered me around and said my time had come. The angels sang the song for me to prepare me for the world.
What's the process for you for getting an idea for a song and getting that all the way from the idea stage to the actual performance stage?
Well, it's different for each song. I mean, I think for me, I'm not about precision. It's like, so I can have one verse done and be pretty comfortable just trying that at a gig, and it can sound pretty bad a lot of times. I always thought on this project I was kind of greedy. I wanted every line to have a real impact, and I think there's a certain kind of economy that you have to have in like poetry or like songwriting, where every line has to like have a lot of punch to it. For me, it became a thing of snapshots. It's like, how does this person, or I write from character's perspective a lot, how does this character feel in this moment? And if I could discipline myself to do that, then I was really able to produce things that had a lot more just impact, I think, to the listener and to what I wanted to communicate. It was more effective if I said, okay, this is a snapshot of this moment. This person may feel totally different, maybe even embarrassed by how they're acting right now, but this moment, this is what they felt. So
most of the songs that you have written seem to be written from a character that isn't always the same, but has kind of a narcissistic tendencies, kind of self-absorbed.
Right.
Is there a comfort with that for you?
I love the idea of these characters who bring on difficult situations to themselves because of, you know, they're kind of oblivious to how selfish they are, or how how they don't take into account the big picture and where they fit into it. Because, I mean, I've been that way before. I mean, I think anytime I look at my life and say, oh, God, you know, I kind of screwed myself over there, I enjoy exaggerating it and making it to be a little bit over the top, because I think it brings a humor into it at that point where it's like, okay, this isn't so serious and heavy. I mean, it is, but I can laugh about it. Whereas if we got really, you know, if I didn't go to that exaggeration, it would not, I think it would be a little dark without kind of a light side to it, because I think that in the end, I mean, we're all just trying to do our best, and I don't want to like turn into this thing where everything's doom and gloom.
Well, but how frequently do you write from your own feelings or emotions, and what would be like Michael's voice versus, you know, taking on another character's?
It is personal, but I think that's also the bond that we all experience. Like, we all have heartbreak, we all have jealousy, we all have fear. Those are things that all of us can relate to, and that's probably why there's so many songs about all that stuff. I mean, so with that, it's like this tricky thing where I don't feel like it would serve anybody any good for me to create something just strictly from those things. So for me, the challenge is framing those things in a context that maybe people can relate to. I think in a lot of ways, these characters, they all are my voice. You know, I mean, I think like I'd be kidding myself to say I haven't had like thoughts. Like, you know, I mean, like I think of that song like Prayers for Highly Successful People, and it's like it comes across as being over the top. Like, give me 3 cars, give me a shave, give me a wife that makes me look good in front of all my friends. It's like, yeah, it sounds silly, but in the end, I mean, you know, I've thought of those things.
Is there a comfort with that for you, that you kind of return to that style of character?
I don't know. I guess I am comfortable with that character. I find it very, I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere we go. It's every person we meet. We all have it. And so yeah, I'm very, I don't know. It's, I guess that's where those characters come from. And I think, honestly, like, in a way, I probably felt everything that those characters have felt, you know, that I'm writing from those perspectives. So I guess if I were to be honest, then I guess it's all. Then I guess I've been there. I guess in situations, even if I'm writing about somebody else, like a friend I'm writing about their situation. It's like the only reason I can write a song about it is because I can relate to it, on some level. So
one of the terms that could be used to explain the way that you take on characters would be almost satirical. And from that Fascination perspective of offering social criticism or offering maybe a questioning perspective on day-to-day life, is that something that you consciously set out to do?
I don't know. I don't think about it like I'm going to do this. I don't think about like I'm going to make some kind of piece of art or some song or whatever that's going to like be a commentary. I think as far as just coming out to be a satire piece and saying I'm going to make a satire piece is never something I've thought of. I mean, but if I take like certain people who've resonated with me since I was a kid, it's just been what resonates with. I mean, I love Mark Twain. It's like I love Huck Finn. I love Voltaire. I mean, those guys have always just resonated with me, and I could sit and be fascinated by everything that those kind of guys produce. But what I write, I feel is normal for me, and it's like it's not. I'm not trying to be this or that. It's just the way I feel about creating, and it's what comes out.
Can you talk a little bit about your voice and how you use it as an instrument?
My voice at 18 was too polished, too classical. It wouldn't have worked with these songs. So in a way, I kind of had to let my instrument die and then slowly build it back into something else, because singing these songs that I'm singing now the way I used to sing would have sounded kind of silly, I think. The hardest thing is to switch the characters. That's the challenge, is like the attitude behind the voice has to change pretty dramatically from character to character, because these songs are written from some characters' perspectives.
So you grew up in fairly rural Kentucky. What is the influence of that as you transition into writing more lyric-based pop songs?
What did Robin told me once? My songs were kind of pedestrian and dark. I have that comfort to be pedestrian and not try to be cool. Like I think that maybe something I was doing in my early 20s, but my songs are not cool. I mean, they're not like hip. They're just, this is just bare bones. This is what it is, and this is what I know.
So with the upcoming release of this album, what will constitute success for you?
There's certain songs that I've heard over the course of my life that have really helped me see things in a certain way, or see a certain person in a certain way. And so I feel like when you introduce lyrics, and I think that's maybe hopefully something that comes of it, that these songs will help people in some way. They'll make them laugh, they'll make them feel good, they'll make them look at their situation in a way that they haven't looked at, and so in that regard, I think that's all I can ask. If it's 500 people, if it's 5 million people, I mean, all I can hope for is that what I do has some integrity to it and has some character to it.
Please don't take me as I am. Please don't settle for where I live. You can make me better than I've ever been before. I just want to be like all your other boys. I just want to be like all your other boys. I just want to be like all your other boys.